Hey guys, welcome to week 4 of the NFL. Last week, really good week, went 5-1 on the picks. Um, Took Houston against Chicago. Luckily, we had the hook at 3.5, able to win that one at plus 3.5. Um, Green Bay winning as well against Tampa. And then we had Indianapolis, Miami, which were a couple of big wins there. Indy winning against Kansas City. I didn't expect them to win outright, but it's a 6-point dog. They looked pretty good. And then taking Miami, who also won outright against Buffalo as a 6-point dog. So those are a couple of big wins. My favorite one of the week was Cincinnati at minus 4.5 against the Jets. They won easily. So the only one again I got wrong was the Carolina game. Can't seem to be, to get those ones right. I had New Orleans. They lost 22-14 against the Panthers. 5-1, so now 13-4 on the year, and I think 3 of those losses have been on Carolina games. So I was on Carolina week 1, lost to Cleveland. I then went. Then they played, I think, the Giants, and got that one wrong. And then I go against them last week against the Saints, and they beat the Saints. So it was like every time I bet against them, they win, and then I bet on them, and they lose. They lost against the Giants, I think 19-16 in week 2. So it's like I should just stay away from these games, stay away from NFC South games. I think I was even on New Orleans one game as well. So not much luck in that division, specifically with Carolina and New Orleans, but I am going back to a Carolina game this week. So if it doesn't work out this week, I am done betting Carolina games for the rest of the year. You heard it here first. So a good week overall. We're looking forward to week 4 now. Can't believe it's already the 4th week, and we're already into October, so it's gone by fast. First game for you guys. First 2 games I have are 3.5-point underdogs. We'll see what happens. I mean, they're not comfortable picks, but it's a tough week. There's a lot of close matchups. Survivor won't be easy this week. Cincinnati was one that I really did love, the Thursday night game. That was one where I was like, for Survivor picks, Cincinnati might be a sneaky Survivor pick. You don't usually like betting that on a Thursday game. But it was just, I mean, Miami and that game was just toast from the beginning. Came off a huge win against Buffalo, which they got outplayed. I mean, if you look at the box score in that game, Buffalo just beat them in every way imaginable. Miami, I think, was on the field for like 90 plays against Buffalo. But then on a short week, they played in like 100-degree weather, hit Miami. So they were fatigued, short week, traveling, all the distractions in Florida with the hurricanes. I'm like, I think Miami's toast in this one. So Cincinnati was an easy, I think, Thursday night game. So that would have been a good Survivor pick if any of you guys took the Bengals. But we're looking just for Sunday this week. So the first game, Seattle and Detroit. Detroit's a 3.5-point favorite. I think this game started like Detroit -6. And this has come all the way down. Detroit's out or missing a couple of players, a couple of key guys in this game. And that's the main reason why I'm taking Seattle plus 3.5. Look, Seattle isn't great by any means, but I don't think Detroit is that much better. And missing a couple of key offensive players this week. And Detroit laying points in general. I mean, Detroit's a team you take when you're getting points. They've been an ATS moneymaker. But when you're laying points, I don't know. I mean, when was the last time Detroit was opening like as a 6-point favorite? I mean, that probably 0 times in the past 15 years, but that's what it was this week. It's been bet down to 3.5. I still think anything over a field goal, I think you bet Seattle. Again, not a comfortable pick because Seattle isn't great by any means, but this is a situation where Detroit can score, but they give up a lot of points. I mean, you can see this being Detroit up 10, 3 minutes to go, Seattle has the ball, and Seattle goes down the field and scores a touchdown. This has backdoor cover written all over it. Seattle could win, but getting 3.5 points, I'm going to take the Seahawks against the Lions. I typically don't bet on Detroit games. So hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, but I'm taking Seattle plus 3.5. Second game, also a plus 3.5, is Tennessee and Indianapolis. Big division matchup here. You would expect one of these two teams are going to win the division. I think they play each other again in just a couple of weeks. Indy's also, I believe, plays a Thursday night game this coming up this week. So I don't know if it's a look-ahead spot. I mean, it's a division matchup. I'm sure the Colts will be focused against the Titans. But I mean, I think this is a pretty even matchup as well. So if I'm getting 3.5 points in a division game, I'll take the team getting the points. I think this could be a field goal game. Again, not super comfortable. Tennessee could win this game just like Seattle could win. But Tennessee could lose by a couple touchdowns, just like Seattle could lose by a couple touchdowns. This is just a situation where I think the teams are very close. I don't think 3.5 points is really warranted. So I'm going to take the team getting the points. It's I think a pretty good matchup. It's obviously probably the two best running backs in the league, Taylor and Henry. So I'm Tannehill. I'm not a Tannehill fan at all. I think he's just not a very good quarterback. So I don't feel great and not having Brown there anymore. So I'm really heavily relying on Henry in the backfield, maybe some receptions, and just controlling the clock, shortening this game a little bit, getting after Matt Ryan. Hopefully they have a pass rush because I know the pass defense for Tennessee is just not good at all. So there could be a lot of yards in this game for Matty Ice, but I'm hoping a close game. And if it's a close game and you're getting 3.5, that's a pretty good pick, I think. Last game, I'm going, like I said, going back to a Carolina game. They're playing Arizona. I had Arizona right a couple weeks ago when they were in Vegas and they got the big road win. And they're in Carolina this week. Carolina's a short 1.5 point favorite. I'm not taking the points at plus 1.5. I'm just taking Arizona on the money line. Forget the points. There's not much anyway. Take a little bit better odds. Take them straight up. I think Arizona plays better on the road. I don't think an East Coast trip affects them at all, just like the East Coast trip doesn't affect Seattle. I think these teams travel pretty well. Carolina, it's a tough team to figure out. Obviously, I'm 0-3 on them on the season. So I don't know. Maybe this is good for Carolina that I'm picking against them. But I think Arizona, honestly, is a better team than Carolina. I mean, yeah, they have McCaffrey. They got the best player on the field. But Baker Mayfield is just not a good quarterback. Murray, although he hasn't played well, I think is much better than Baker Mayfield. So I think for Murray, he has to get back into his dual threat, use his legs a bit more. He only has like 60-something rush yards on the season. If he can get out of the pocket, scramble a bit, I think that's when he's at his best. And so I just think Arizona is a better team. I think they are just going to really dominate the game, especially I think on third downs. I think Arizona is just going to convert some big third downs in this game, find the end zone, and my gut says Arizona wins this game straight up. So I'm taking the Cardinals against Carolina. Another game, some other games that I'm not betting, have not bet, so full disclosure there, but games that, my opinion on, if you guys want to get there. One of them is Denver and Vegas. I actually think Vegas wins this game. I know, historically, teams that are winless and who are favorites typically don't do well. But maybe that says something about Denver. I don't know. I think situationally, it's not a good spot for Denver. They just came off a big primetime win, an ugly win against San Francisco. Vegas came off another tough loss. Although they're 0-3, they seem to be in every single game. And next week, Vegas, I believe, has Kansas City. So it's like, if they don't win this game, is Vegas really going to start off 0-5? I mean, I don't typically like to bet that way. Does a team going to start this way, or no way they can start off 0-2? But I think this is a game where it's kind of similar to taking Cincinnati against the Jets. I know different opponent, obviously, but it's almost a game like, if you're not going to win this game, what game are you going to win? And so Denver's offense has been a complete mess. Their defense looks world class. What we'll see as the season goes on. That seems to be the trend with Denver. They fatigue as the season goes on, but seems like Russell Wilson just is not connecting with that offense. I think Vegas is honestly a sharp pick just to take on the money line. They're another short favorite, 1.5, 2.5. Just take the Raiders to win. Like I said, I haven't bet the game because I just can't trust them enough right now. But if I were to bet, I'd take Vegas over Denver. Another one, Washington and Dallas. Dallas is a 3.5 point favorite. One, I'm not betting, but if I was to bet this game, I would take Washington plus 3.5, and I would not be surprised. I would sprinkle some money on the money line. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington won this game outright. I think Dallas is still a very public team. And I don't think I know Washington's bad. I get Washington's bad, but I don't know how much better Dallas is than Washington. Division game, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington surprised some teams this week and got the upset. But my 3 picks, I'm going to take Seattle plus 3.5 against the Lions. I'm going to take Tennessee plus 3.5 against the Colts. And I'm going to take Arizona on the money line against Carolina. Like I said, if I get this one wrong, I'm done with Carolina games the rest of the year. But hopefully we have a good week, guys. We've been, having some strong first 3 weeks. Keep it rolling. Like, subscribe, comment on the video, and good luck this Sunday.